precisely what we do is actually bring science to policy advice. And we do this by focusing on Europe, and we give science-based policy advice to Europe on energy, climate, environment, and public health. And therefore, that's one of the main themes, of course, of the World Science Forum, so that's why we're here. The main message of our session was, first of all, to show that science really has to contribute to policy advice, in particular around climate. We had organized a session where we showed what we as an organization bring to science for policy advice on climate, for food, for health and biodiversity. And also we had invited the president of the Brazilian Academy, who is chairing S20, which is the science academies of the G20 countries. And they actually gave a number of very important advices on reaching the sustainable development goals to the G20 countries.
Of course, many academies that have existed for a longer time are used to giving science for policy advice to their own national government.
Our task for the future are that we continue to pick important problems and themes where, essentially on climate problems, where we think the policy should change and where our advice can really make a difference. So for instance, we will soon release a report on wildfires in Europe. It's sort of neglected problem, and the report will have recommendations on how to minimize the chances for wildfires, and once you have them, how to handle them. So we will also quite soon release a report on security of sustainable energy supplies, which will actually look from a very broad perspective of generating sustainable energy supplies to Europe, including cybersecurity and the threats that we now have since the war in Ukraine. I really enjoy being here at the World Science Forum, and what I notice is that there is an overall agreement actually that we need to bring various knowledge systems together to make progress on these major challenges. At the opening session, Peter Gluckman already stressed that. He also talked about various knowledge systems, and we see that actually in our own work, and it was actually one of the main focal points of our session as well.